Hey everyone, good morning and welcome back. In today's video, I hope to get a magnolia tulip tree in the ground today. There is a threat of rain, so that may or may not happen, but I'm hoping that the rain will hold off and that we will get this done today because I just want to accomplish something in my garden and the rain has just been kind of working against me. So hopefully I can get that done. And okay, little detour. This is the little space that I cleared out yesterday. Doesn't look very big, but that's because I have a pot sitting in the way and I had to put down some diatomaceous earth because of course there were ants in the pot and on the brick that it was sitting on. So I had to do that. And so I'm going to move that now, and then I'll be able to start digging, I believe, in there. The diatomaceous earth may not kill the ants, but it definitely makes them move. So they have to go relocate for the most part. Anyway, this is where I'm going to put the tulip tree. I'm going to try to do it before the rain hits. And that maple that's in this blue pot, so that maple right there in that big blue planter pot, that's not going to stay there. That's going to move. It's too big. When I bought it, I was thinking, oh, I'll put that in the back, but it gets too tall. And I think I might put that across the street or in the front yard somewhere to help create some shade. But for now, it's in that pot until I figure out really what to do with it. All right, so let me get to moving this little pot. Hopefully the mosquitoes know that it might be raining soon, and so they've scurried away to their little houses wherever they live and leave me alone because I don't want to be dealing with mosquitoes right now. All right, this is the pot that had the ants. Whoa. And this is the brick it was sitting on. It's been down there for a little bit. Okay, no ants. If you've watched me enough to know, I take my time. I don't just dig into things because just in case there is ants, they need to have time to scurry out. Oh wow, that's a lot of mycelium down there. Well, I hate to disturb it, but it's kind of in the way. I guess I could come a little further out. I guess I could come out to like here because that's probably 6 feet and its spread is 20. So that's close. I mean, they might be touching one another. Okay, I've decided that I'm going to move this grass and put it here. So now I've got to remove this grass, and I wasn't going to do that on camera, so I will speed it up. I have other edging tools. In fact, my husband bought me a new one the other day, but I kind of like this one. It's short. I'm short, it's short. It's nice to use. But anyway, yeah, so it's short. I like using it. All the other ones are a little on the longer side. I like the circular grip. I think it's very comfortable on the hands. I'm not a product seller. I don't get paid by this company or anything like that. And it's not the brand. It's just the design. I like the design. And for my body size, every time my husband comes out and sees me do this, he's like, "You're taking more of my grass?" Yep, sure am. I sure am. mean, these plants, they need space. Okay, that's not quite, I didn't get quite deep enough here. So I'm going to have to pull this out. At some point, I'm going to have a, yeah, that was a root. At some point, I'm going to have a sprinkler pipe. I'll finish rounding it out in the area when I'm ready to plant over there. But for now, I just need this area to be rounded out. This is where I want it. And I need it to be a good distance from those other trees. I don't mind if they touch. I don't want them crowded. How about that? Because then I'll just have roots in the ground. Like it'll just be one big rooted space. Let me clean up this little edge. Come here, crepe myrtle. You move over there. You slide down. Come here, you. Weed, you get pulled. Yesterday when I was working in this area to clear out the space for this tree, woo! Well, look at that. I found a lot of these oxalis bulbs. And I was happy because every time I find one and throw them away, that means less of that oxalis in my yard. Ooh, windy. Wind just blew my gate shut on me. St. Augustine grass, if you're wondering. Same as what I removed out of my garden, new garden that I'm creating. Okay, I have it cleared out, and at least it's a little bit better of a curve. Now here is the magnolia. You can see it's just one little skinny stalk, and it's leaning, so I will plant it so it's not leaning so much. Anyway, it's kind of crooked, or in the pot, the root ball is at an angle, and that's why it's at an angle. So anyway, I'll put it in the ground correctly and then pack it in. So this is where it's going. Let me scoot us back a little so you can see better. That's my pile of grass that I pulled out. And now I can put my little tulip magnolia in the ground. So it has a 15-foot spread. It's 25 feet high. So this is like 3 feet 10 inches. So that's 3 feet, and that's 7 feet. So I think this is perfect distance from the maple now, and they might touch, but not by much. Won't be that much. That is a much deeper root ball than I was thinking. Don't know why I thought it was much smaller. So now I've got the chore of digging a good size hole and trying to avoid the pipe. And you know, once I get digging, if I hit that pipe, I've got to relocate where I'm going to plant this. So let's hope for the best, y'all, that I don't have to relocate where I was going to put this, because I really want it right here. And because I have to go deeper than I wanted, I really have to get it in the ground before the rain starts. Because once it starts raining, this deep hole, all that clay that's mostly dry now, or it's in a workable shape, it'll get wet. And then I won't be able to plant it for who knows how long, because my husband just told me the whole week looks like it's going to have rain. I'm just like, oh, this rain. This has some, not, is it gypsum? No, it's not gypsum. It's, I forget what that stuff is called. But you put it in your lawn and it helps to aerate it. I can't remember. Maybe it is gypsum. It doesn't change anything with the acid. Ooh, look at that. It doesn't change anything with the acidicness or the alkalineness, pH of the soil. It just makes the soil less compacted, the clay. I can't think of what it's called. I'll figure it out. All right, let's get this baby out of this. Ooh. All right, little tree. Your roots look good. They don't look like they're root bound at all. But just in case, come here. Oh, let me just loosen the bottoms. Just a little. Sitting a little high, which is perfectly fine. Something that I want to do anyway because of the clay. So I want to be able to mulch on top of this. So I'm going to put the real clay back. The native clay, how about that? The native soil. So putting that back in here. See, if this clay was wet, it wouldn't be as nice and crumbly as it is. And you would end up putting like chunks of, wet mud around the root ball, but it doesn't really quite get around it like it should. See how I'm already running out of clay that I took out of the hole? And you think, well, if you put it back, you should have a lot left over because the tree root ball takes up a lot of space. But that's the thing about clay, is that you pull it out and you took it out of a big spot, but when you put it back in, for some reason, the whole consistency, not the consistent, but I don't know what the right word is for it, but it changes. So I don't know how to explain it. You have to be very careful working in clay for that reason. Soil particles have surface area, and it has something to do with the amount of surface area that, that whole section hasn't gotten soil yet. Get down in there. Get down in there. I just don't understand it myself. I don't understand enough to explain it. How about that? It makes sense in my brain. I just can't explain it to someone else. Now we need the rain to do its job. I'm just going to gently step just to make sure that it's in the ground. Okay. I just don't want it to be super loose. All right. It's good. All right. Yay. Finally. Woo! Finally I got that in the ground. All right. Here is what it is. It is a Jane Magnolia. And that picture really doesn't do the blooms justice. It's very, very pretty. Okay. And these are the stats. It grows 25 high, 15 wide, full sun to semi-sun, in moist, well-drained soils, acidic soil preferred, which I will put some soil acidifier down, top dress with mulch to retain moisture. Okay. The color is that reddish purple that you see, and the inside is white. It really is quite pretty, and that's the scientific name, Magnolia X Jane. You'll notice I didn't use any of my pre-mixed soil stuff. I will add it to the top and around it to help it to get into the soil, but this is going to drain just fine. It does not hold a lot of water. I'm not real worried about it, and it does like moist soil, so I didn't want to mess with the consistency of the clay yet. I'll just put that around the base and let it work itself down into the soil, and then just keep mulching over the years, and it'll definitely improve the soil. Stepping back, again, that maple's not going to be there, and this will fill in this whole space, and eventually this might get enough shade that I'll only have maybe this edge for sunny stuff, and then of course right in the front of this, which means that, you know, I might have to pull that flower bed out just a little. And if I go from behind, you can see the spacing between that maple, the purple maple, and that, and then the spacing from my royal raindrop crabapple. So I have plenty of space. That's over 10 feet, so, you know, they shouldn't touch. And that's another maple. Now those two, that's a whole different story. They might end up touching, but I'm okay. Some things are going to touch, and look, one will grow shorter than it should because the other's shading it out, and I would suspect the crabapple is going to shade out the maple because maples are slow growing trees to begin with. So I bet that the crabapple will grow as it's supposed to, the maple will lag behind, get shaded out, and will become more of an understory tree that doesn't get to its full mature height. At least that's what I believe. This was my husband's attempt at a picket fence, and I'm going to use it as a trellis. All right, so I came inside and did a little research to see what that soil amendment was that you could put into clay to aerate it, and also, you know, just to help to add more particulates and let the soil, and anyway, you can do the research. It is gypsum. I don't know why I second guess myself on the name of things, but it is gypsum. You can actually spread it over your lawn if you have a compacted lawn, and it'll aerate it. You can also put it in your flower beds in the clay soil, and it'll help to make it drain better and retain less moisture without making it dry. It doesn't last like you would have to do it maybe every couple of years or so, because the research said that it doesn't really last long in the soil. But anyway, it is gypsum. So clay soil and gypsum is a good combo. So the rain decided to pass us, which I'm thrilled about. But now I had to water the tree in, and I did. I watered it in. I'm going to water in a second time because the water did drain through the clay really fast. Now, this is one of the reasons why I didn't put the other soil in it. That water went through real fast, but that clay will suck it up and hold on to it instead of it sitting like a swimming pool. But if I had amended it with too much of my own soil, there'd be a swimming pool at the very bottom of those roots where it hits the hard pan, and I didn't want that. So anyway, that's why I didn't amend that soil. Also, I moved this maple tree out from behind there because I didn't want you to see this green and then also see that green right behind it. So I moved it. But when I moved it, let me show you what I found. Bad, bad, bad. Well, a couple bad. First, badder, is this wild raspberry. Oh, these are like monstrous here. And I haven't had this in my yard for a while. So this thing is going to get dug out very carefully. I'll be like a surgeon. I'm going to find all those roots, make sure I get all the way to the bottom. Second bad. Yes, needlepoint ivy. Must be loving its life because I see that it's gotten kind of long. Which it hasn't escaped this area, and it is kind of pretty, but I don't want it to get any bigger. And look, it's starting to come out this way. So I'm scared. I don't want it to get any bigger. And as this area grows with more and more shade, that means more and more of this. So I've got to take care of it now. Anyway, I'm going to set up my tripod. That way you can see me dig this sucker out. These things hurt. If you've ever seen them get big, their stems are like bright red with a gazillion thorns. Ugh, they're terrible.